Hi guys, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Nuggets News. In tonight's video I'll do my usual technical analysis, but I just want to tie it in with some of the fundamentals and the whole Bitcoin Cash situation which we've seen recently, as it has dramatically affected the market. So I have done a couple of videos on the Bitcoin hard fork and Bitcoin Cash, so please watch those if you haven't already. But basically last week we were looking at this pennant. The range was just getting tighter and tighter, and I thought that technically everything was set up for a break to the upside, and I was looking for a test of those all-time highs. Okay, but then we got that news about Bitcoin Cash becoming a real possibility, and obviously markets are forward-looking and they price in all available information. So when we get some news out of left field like this, it takes the market by surprise. Okay, we had a big break to the downside, and I sent a message out to members on this day here that it almost felt like something wasn't right, as if the market was looking around. It wanted to break out to new highs, but it was almost waiting for some sort of bad news, and everything appeared almost too good to be true. And sure enough, we got that bad news and that breakdown there. So we are forming a bit of a trend line here. We've had a couple of touches now, so I think as we see this bracket play out here, and that week, August 1st, and the following few days could be a bit of confusion, and same again, market participants looking around to see what happens. So it wouldn't surprise me if we drift sideways, if not even a little bit lower over the coming week, and definitely not, I wouldn't see us getting any further down than 2,500 here. But I spoke about wanting to see the correlation break between Bitcoin and other coins, and sure enough, we've seen this week we barely got any push, if any, from these two brackets here, and all eyes are on Bitcoin, and we've basically just had a sell-off all week in Ethereum, a sell-off all week in Litecoin, but I guess it's due to people wanting to move into Bitcoin with that idea of being able to get that free money from getting that Bitcoin Cash, and I'll speak to that a little bit more at the end of the video. But for now, Ethereum still holding up since we bottomed here and had the bounce up to 250. We're still holding above this 50% retracement. Okay, we've tested 190 a few times, so again, nothing fundamentally has changed. I still think Ethereum's going to be strong in the coming weeks, but for now, all eyes are on Bitcoin in the current situation. So maybe we get a bit of a drift and downward with this bracket here over the next few days, as I've already said. But a lot of the actions in going to be in Bitcoin and going to determine what happens in these other coins. So Litecoin did break this long-term uptrend line, which we haven't closed below. So I've drawn in another trend line with the spike downs, and we've had a few touches there. So maybe that'll come into play. The brackets for Litecoin are bottoming tomorrow, so let's see if we can get a bit of a bounce. But we did come up and retest that trend line and just bounce straight back off it. So maybe Litecoin gets down to 37 as we see the whole Bitcoin situation unfold. But again, I just think that the spotlight's on Bitcoin. The fundamentals are changed slightly now for Litecoin if we do get SegWit and whatnot. But Litecoin's obviously been a really stable play and acted as a bit of a safe haven. And let's not forget, we've had a run from $4 up to nearly $60 there. So it's going to take a breather, and I like Litecoin for the long term still. But let's just dive into the whole Bitcoin Cash situation now. So please watch those videos I've done if you haven't already. But I said that my personal opinion was that Bitcoin Cash, the timing of it all is, I feel, possibly damaging for the Bitcoin ecosystem as a whole. So now I know that it gets back to this argument about what's best for Bitcoin in the long run. What was Satoshi's vision when he wrote the white paper? And those Bitcoin Cash guys believe that what they're doing is best by increasing the block size to 8 megabytes. Now, obviously, they've had a lot of pushback with that, and as I said, the timing of it's not ideal. It's creating confusion, and we already have a ticker BCC for BitConnect. It's been around for a while, okay, so again, it's another layer of confusion for new users into this space, but we're seeing that Bitcoin future trading on via BTC for about $330 US, and it has been steadily declining, but I want people just to get their head around this idea, and I've spoken to my VIP members about how I see this playing out exactly over the next week, but this money has to come from somewhere. You're not just going to create a market cap out of thin air, and nothing in life is free. So there's people that are planning on selling ASAP. Yeah, it all depends on what the person on the other side of that trade is going to be willing to pay once this Bitcoin Cash actually hits some exchanges. Now, we have seen more exchanges and wallets come out and say they're going to support it. So this isn't a complete list here. They have been updating this regularly, but I know a lot of you guys use Bittrex as well. I know Jax has just come out in the last few hours and said that they're going to support it as well. But the number of exchanges that are actually going to have an active trading pair straight away is only going to be a couple from what I've read so far. So a lot of people are planning on dumping that Bitcoin Cash ASAP, but I just want you to be aware that there are going to, even if it is only the Bitcoin Cash crowd that are going to be stepping in to buy, the market's got to determine what is fair value for that. And obviously at the moment, as I said, that futures is trading at $300. Whether or not that's a true representation is, yeah, we'll find out. But we've seen that Bitcoin Cash is only capturing less than 1% of the hash power. But this is the point I want to get to next: is miners are going to mine whatever is profitable. They're a business, okay? They're here to make money. And the thing with Bitcoin Cash is that the difficulty adjusts more quickly than that 2016 block period for Bitcoin. So I expect to see a lot of volatility in the Bitcoin price, even more volatility in the Bitcoin Cash price once it hits exchanges on August 1st. But as I said, that mining difficulty is really important. The fact that it adjusts faster than Bitcoin, and miners are possibly going to step in and mine whatever they see as profitable. So look, I've been in Bitcoin for 5 years. This is possibly the biggest week in the history for Bitcoin, and it is going to affect all cryptocurrency. We have seen that correlation of Bitcoin going up or down and all altcoins just following it, okay? So they're starting to move a bit independently of each other, which is one thing I was really looking at. But let's see how this plays out. I really think the future for Bitcoin is bright. If Bitcoin Cash can succeed and even only capture a tiny market share, even if it's only in China, okay, I'll be holding on to both coins for the time being and seeing how this plays out, as history doesn't repeat, but it can rhyme. And when Ethereum Classic sort of came out of nowhere and was listed on Poloniex before anyone even barely knew what happened, sure enough, we had it run up to $3. But as all exchanges were quick to issue Ethereum Classic to those that had Ethereum in their wallets, the majority of people just sold it off, okay? And there's always someone on the other side of this trade, and I just want to keep open-minded to the fact that possibly Bitcoin Cash could stick around for a while, and I think the majority of people are going to dump it on day one and look to buy into Bitcoin. So there is a slight possibility that it could stick around and succeed. So as you guys know, I just want to see what's best for Bitcoin as a whole. I don't like the timing of what they're doing and how they've gone about this all, but we've got to take emotion out of it when we're being successful traders and keep our personal feelings aside and do what we think is going to make us the most money as traders. So as usual, thanks for tuning in, guys. Please like, hit subscribe and share these videos around if you found this information useful. Thank you.